Well guys, welcome back to another episode. Hope you guys are all doing good. Been out of action for the last 2 weeks or so. This horrible weather, rain, wind, bit of everything. I ain't able to go and do any fishing at all, so stuck at home. As you can see behind me, looks like it's going to rain again. It's pretty windy up in the trees, and if it's pretty bad here like this, down at the coast it's pretty horrible. It's blowing 20 knots, 25 knots. It's crazy. So I'll do a video on what I'm planning on doing lately. I'm gonna transition my boat from a lead acid battery to lithium batteries. I've been having battery problems with my lead acid battery, so I've decided to go lithium this time. And there's been some do's and don'ts with lithium. So if you're ever thinking about going lithium, just keep watching this video, because there may be some tips that you guys can use to avoid making some mistakes that I did that were quite costly. So let's get into it. Well, there you go guys. It was only an hour before I was talking about the rain, and now we've got this gush of rain coming through. Made me run and duck for cover. It's never gonna stop, I think. The forecast is over a whole week. It's one of the reasons why you can't get out fishing in the creeks, let alone out in the reef. Guess we'll have to wait out, eh? Shit. Alright, let's get into it. Here's the boat area at the back. Now, a quick recap. Now, every time I'm out fishing out the reef or the creeks, I always get a flat using there's deep cycle AGM batteries. Now, at first I only used one with the trolling motor, and I didn't get enough time on the water before it went flat, so it couldn't hold spot lock anymore. So I went with two AGMs, connected them up. I think it's in series or parallel, yeah, to double the capacity, and to get more amperage per hour, but then it still wasn't enough. So I decided enough is enough, and I went with lithium. So I scrapped the two AGMs, and I went and bought a 150 amp lithium, which is at the front there. As you can see, let me just get you a closer look. See in this garage. Okay, this one here is a 150 lithium battery. They're supposed to be better, but I have tried them and they are better. A full day usage, and it has never given me any problems ever since I bought this lithium. No flats at all. So I go all day out in the reef or wherever I'm doing, using it all day, spot locking, moving around, full speeds, and it held its charge perfectly. So it was a good good decision to go lithium. It's much lighter too, like they say, and it holds its charge really well. So eventually my my rear battery started to die as well, because they were also lead. It was a Century marine battery, those N70 Century batteries, which was pretty good, dual purpose ones. And I had to keep topping it up with water, obviously, with all the water dry out, you know, maintenance free. But you still have to keep topping up the water. I don't get how they mean by maintenance free. You still have to top it up all the damn time. So I got sick and tired of doing that as well. Obviously it was heavy too, so I decided, okay, the lithium I bought for my electric motor was pretty good, so I'll get lithium for the back as well, you know, for doing the dual purpose, you know, using it for starting and auxiliary. But this is the catch. Now lithium batteries were not recommended to start outboards, right? So I took that into consideration, but I was thinking, what the hell, you know, it's only a little 30 horsepower Yamaha. You know, how bad could it be? You know, it should be able to start, because my 150 I have up there, my 150 up there has no problem starting the outboard and everything. So I've used it to start the boat and everything, so it works fine. So I thought that I'll get this one back here. This one back here is it's 100 amp, and yeah, I thought that should be sufficient. Hopefully you shouldn't have any problems starting as well. But then when I got the battery, yeah, it couldn't start the motor. Yeah, not because it doesn't have enough power. I think it does have enough power, but these lithium batteries has a BMS, a battery management system, to stop it from overcharging, discharging, and so forth. Yeah, and yeah, that's stopping the sudden discharge when the motor needs that power draw to start the outboard. So what happens is, whenever you start the motor, it cuts the power off completely, so the motor doesn't start, and it doesn't give power at all after that. You know, the battery does not produce any power for like, I think 30 seconds or something before the BMS releases power again, and then you can use it again like a normal AGM battery. All right, let me show you what I mean by cutting. It keeps cutting the power. Now I've got them connected now, negative to positive, and then to the isolator, and then from the isolator to all your auxiliaries and stuff. So turn the isolator on, and this is the key start. Now when you turn the key on, the little tacho should come on. That means there's power. So right now it's off. So turn the key on. There you go, it's got power. Alright, it's ready to start. Now, I know it's not recommended to crank the motor dry without the water hose and everything, but what's a few seconds anyway, you know? This won't even start anyway, you know, it'll just click, that's it. So you watch. Now as soon as I crank the motor, this is what happens. Watch it. That's it. See? Now when I keep turning the key, nothing's happening. The power on the tacho's gone. See? The BMS, the battery's management system, has shut power completely. So there is no power coming at all anymore. Nothing. Zip, nothing. So I've used a battery tester and tested the two terminals together to see if there's any power, and nothing's coming through. I don't have one here now at the moment because I left it my other garage. So you get the idea. There is no power coming. So let's just see if this power's back. Yep, it's back. There you go. There you go. As you can see, I'll turn it off. It's on. Turn back on. There you go. There's power again. So there you have it. The battery is not flat. Okay. The battery is not flat. Is the battery management system that's stopping the sudden discharge that is required to power to start the motor. That's why it's stuffed. So yeah. So when you guys are out there buying lithium batteries, just make sure, okay? Just make sure you get one that is capable to start your motor, because I made a silly mistake, okay? Yeah. But luckily I had the 150 up the front, so I can connect them together to make it work. Well, the theory is it should work. So right now I'm going to connect them again. I've got all the connections here all ready to go. I'm going to connect the positive and negatives together, and I'm going to give it a quick crank without the hose. And you know, it will only be a few seconds, so I've done it before. You shouldn't hurt it, but it's not recommended. But don't do that, guys, if you guys don't want to ruin it. But I don't have a hose in this area, so I'm just going to quick crank it, and if it starts, I'm going to turn it straight off. Okay? Okay, guys, a new development. Let me rephrase that before about the 30-second power cutoff. That's not true. I've just tested it and found out that as long as it is still connected, the power's still connected, like if I got the isolator switched on and they're still connected live, the battery will keep the power turned off. The battery management system will keep the power turned off. As soon as you cut off power, turn off the isolator switch, and there's no draw, then the power comes back on, okay? So that's what happened. So I waited 10 minutes and there wasn't any power coming on, so I took the power off, turned the isolator off, and then turn it back on, and then click the power, and yeah, it was there. So as long as there's power draw after that sudden discharge, it won't switch power back on. Okay, now you can see they're connected. comes down here into here. Now what I'm curious to see is once you crank it and start, I wonder if this one will detect the sudden discharge as well and shut it off. Now I'm hoping that since they're both connected, the draw should be evened out on both batteries, and hopefully it's not enough for this guy to shut off. That's my plan anyway, so we'll keep staying on. If not, then we're gonna have problems because this one needs to come back on, and if it detects any sudden draw still, then it will never come on. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Okay, like I said before, it's not recommended to crank without the hose line in, but I'm just gonna give it a quick shot anyway. So let's have a go. Turn the isolator on. And switch to power, see if there's any power. Okay, there's power. Alright, let's go. There you go. There you go. It does start. But now, I'm gonna disconnect the power from the main big battery and see if there's still any power coming through to the boat. Okay, just disconnect him out. There you go, disconnected. Now I'm hoping that this one the power hasn't cut off. Okay, let's hope for the best. Quick turn of the key here will determine if there's any power coming through still. Yes, 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 there is power. So that's the theory tested. The power is evened out on both batteries. So because they're both connected in parallel, they both absorb the discharge, and it wasn't enough for this guy's BMS to turn off. So that's a good thing, because if it did turn it off, I'm gonna have problems, because it will be constantly connected while you're out in the water, and everything will be running on from that big one because this guy's turned itself off, and I'm gonna have problems. But now I'll find out that this one still remains on. I can get usage from both batteries and shouldn't have any flat problems out there. It was a headache. New territory, guys. Never done it before. New to lithium, so this is an eye-opener for me. So I hope if you guys are ever doing lithium battery setups for your boat, you wouldn't have any problems if you're just going to use it for auxiliary. They just go in and work. But I wanted to use it for starting, which wasn't recommended. But now I'm able to jerry-rig this bush mechanic job, and I was able to sort this problem out. So always make sure that when you buy a lithium battery, when you want to use it for starting, get a dual purpose lithium battery, or make sure that you talk to the supplier that it can do it. Okay, this one was only a little 30 horsepower, and it wouldn't even do it. Okay, so imagine if you had like 100 or 150 amp or 150 horsepower or 100 or so larger outboards, the amount of power draw will be even more significant, and the lithium won't do it. Yeah, because it couldn't even do this little tiny guy here. So myth busted, and gave me a worry a bit, because a lot of money was spent, guys, and even these cables to get this cost a few hundred. These big gauge wires were very expensive, so keep that in mind. Okay, I don't want you guys to run into this sort of problems. Any tip that will help you save a bit of dollars, it's the way to go. And no problems if you're just going to use it for auxiliary, like just sonar and all that. But for starting, always make sure the battery can do it. Okay, for lithiums, because they all have this BMS, battery management system, and they're not all made equal. Some are configured differently. So yeah, my big one there is able to start it, but that's probably because it's 150 amps, I'm thinking, and this one is 100 amps, but I'm not too sure about that. That one might have a different battery management system that allows the discharge, but this one may not. Okay, so all right, guys, that'll be it for this video. A nice quick one. I hope you guys find that information useful, because it was killing me, because I spent so much money, thousands of dollars on those lithium batteries, and I wasn't able to use it properly, and it really was daunting. But now I managed to figure out the problem and sort it out. So hopefully we can do some fishing. These couple of weeks, like I said, wasn't that great. I went out a few times, didn't do too good, so I scrapped the vids, but hopefully it'll get better and I can get some good videos out for you. So thanks for your patience, and until then guys, stay safe, look after each other, and I'll see you out in the water. So I'll see you in the next video. See you later.